What's going on, guys? Clone Force 23 here. You got Roger Mack, aka Alec. Got my boy Alex here. This is going to be part two of our early set three meta analysis, bringing you guys a classic tier list video.
Oh yeah, we're gonna we're gonna go through all the leaders today.
All of the leaders, sets one, two, and three. No one gets left out. But yeah, this is just going to be a simple tier list video, guys. I'm not going to go super in depth, just kind of our initial thoughts of where everyone would be at the moment. Feel free to like and subscribe. It greatly helps us out, and it is free. So please do that if you can. Otherwise, let's just get into this. So we're going to start out with Director Krennic. I think he's being a little slept on right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would.
I think he's really good.
I think this is a yeah. It's good. A tier.
Yeah, this is good. This is like a almost S tier guy, but
Yeah, it does. Blue villainy is great. It's a staple when it comes to blue green villainy. Not much
yeah,
else that needs to be said about that.
yeah. And then going off of that, I think Aiden is just the suboptimal version of Krennic.
Absolutely, I
It's
think.
just pretty standard, like throwaway. Hey, this kind of does the same thing, but a little worse. Um, that's probably where I'd throw her.
Yeah, it's just if you want the reliable healing, go with Krennic.
Yeah. All right, your boy.
I'm sorry,
Where does
but
he go?
you just don't play it.
You just don't play. Yeah, I
It's
was
not.
like, it's like he's kind of here, but it's like, what is he suboptimal of? It's
No
like,
one's
what?
trying to do it better because it's bad.
Yeah, yeah, that
It's a
makes sense for Chewie. Unfortunately, we got two Wookiees this set.
yeah,
When are we gonna get the Wookiee tribal deck?
and I think there's other blue heroes out there that you just play instead, and it's
Yeah,
not an optimal strategy.
right, right. All right, Sharut Imwe. Um,
I think
you
he's
know,
yeah.
he's like here or here. He's very gimmicky, but he's also like
I
a
think
little suboptimal.
yeah. I mean yeah, either high C or low B. Like
Yeah,
I feel like it's more so gimmicky because it's like its equips is what it makes it great. I think there's some good force that just came in, but he's such a predictable strategy.
yeah. We'll leave. I guess we'll leave him here because Shadowed Intentions actually makes him really good.
Hmm.
Um, so that is just like gimmicky. Yeah, and again, this like B tier is like gimmicky, like stuff that is weird and not usually super consistent, but when it does do it, it pops off.
Yeah,
So that makes sense for him. All right, Luke. Um, I think Luke's pretty good actually right now.
I think he's really good.
I think he's probably here,
Hmm.
which is interesting, but I think that is where I would throw him.
I think
Um, he's pretty
especially with
consistent. It's not very gimmicky.
I think it's especially consistent. I think green what makes it look really good, and then the shield tokens right now I think are a big impact to current meta strategy.
Yeah, for sure. I think Luke belongs here. I think Palp also belongs here. Palp is just one of those guys that just if he doesn't play Sabine, he has a great time.
Oh yeah, late game hero right there.
Yeah. Uh, I think Tarkin's pretty gimmicky,
Hmm.
to be honest with you. Like, it's basically just yellow. That's the only viable Tarkin, and it's just the buff the lurking Tie Phantom deck.
Hmm.
So, like, yeah, I don't know.
Seen a couple Tarkin blues turn up, but then that kind of just turns into the suboptimal blue green villain. So I
Right?
think gimmicky
Yeah,
feels right.
feels good. Yeah, we don't need to talk about this.
Sounds about right. Enough said.
Fortunately, I love my girl, but she's yeah. You don't play her.
Yep.
um, Leia has never felt bad, but she has definitely felt like the suboptimal aggro leader for sure.
Yeah. I mean, Rebel. I mean, it's a rebel hero. It works off of rebels. We've just seen better.
Yeah, for sure. But she's not like this bad. She's
Hmm.
like okay. Uh I think Vader.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a tough one with the introduction of Maul.
It makes me feel like it's in that suboptimal category for like red
That's where I yeah, that's
for
where
the
I
red
was gonna
green villain, because
that's where I was gonna say too.
what you were seeing a lot with that deck was in green. I know I especially was extremely successful when I was using ACL, Piet for ambush. All feels great, but now with Maul, you have the potential for overwhelm, which I think kind of
Yeah,
gets to tune that deck just a little bit better. So I'm
right.
with that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Um, I think GI is just not playable. Like there's some cute stuff you can do, but I would not even call it gimmicky. It's just so unbelievably easy to beat.
Glass cannon, and it breaks a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah. This is IG and Cass all kind of fall right here. These-
Yeah.
the red boys from set one all going to the bottom of the list here.
Hmm.
All right, we have our first S tier inclusion. I think
Oh
this
yeah.
just makes sense. Not much we really need to say about Sabine. This is
Still,
kind of the spot where I think she'd be, especially with this happening.
yeah. Still doing great things. Still a problem for decks out there.
Yeah. All right, Thrawn. Hmm. Man, I want to put it in suboptimal, but I just think it's do not play this.
Yeah, I mean, I played a Thrawn at locals, and it got a couple nice new additions, like particularly like Foresight, which can help
Yeah,
out with some drawing. But then again, that's what are you drawing into? That's helping
yeah,
you out. So yeah, I think it's maybe in the do not play.
yeah. All right, Handolo Solo. I think this is our second S tier introduction.
Yeah,
Think Yellow Han is just unbelievably strong right now with again the ban of Boba. Because it's actually funny because I think from what I just think everyone who's going to go in this tier was A tier when Boba was S tier. And so everyone just like moved up a tier with
yeah,
Boba being gone. So yeah, I think Han is set up to be really good. Either mono or green can both be really good. Jen, yeah, she's just here where she's always been.
yep,
Uh Gar Saxon yellow, I think is actually relevant. I think that's kind of a very gimmicky deck, but I think it is definitely there. And I actually saw at the end of the PQ season, Yellow Guard had topped like two of them. So
yeah. Shout out to oh, what was his name? The Gandork. That guy was
Gandork,
playing.
yeah,
Gandork was playing it and did a really good job with it. Kind of showed us a play style we weren't seeing, but there's something there. But you can definitely expect pretty easily what they're trying to do.
right, exactly. All right, Kira, I think is still probably still good, but I think we may see the decline and maybe fall of Kira. I don't know. I've never been sold on Kira. Obviously, she does have tournament wins and everything that proves she is there, but in this like very aggressive meta, I think Krennic might be the one coming out on top for it.
Yeah, if you're trying to play control, I think Krennic is a little bit better. Kira still has a great way of doing control. Um, but I think we're also just not seeing as much control come out.
Yeah. All right, Finn is here.
Yep.
Finn is in the not playable. I can't really see who we're grabbing next. We're
Ray.
grabbing Ray. Um, she's probably still A. I'd
Yeah.
say that Ray is still like pretty relevant as one of the blue hero leaders. The blue red hero decks all kind of do something different now. It just depends on what leader you're playing, but um, I think Gray actually got a ton of really good tools with set three, a lot of little guys. So
Yeah,
I think she'll still be around. Um, Moff Gideon is going to do not play this.
yeah,
Not a lot of stuff there going on. Hondo. I think Hondo is pretty suboptimal, but he's definitely not do not play this. Um,
yeah. I mean, it
we
was.
saw the Hondo blue list
Mhm.
like pick up a little bit again at the end of the PQ season for set two. Um, but again, you're playing blue green villainy. Why not just play one of the other leaders for that?
Certainly.
Jabba. I feel like Jabba deserves to be in C, but he's just not. I think there's just a lot of better late game decks, especially in green villain. He just gets outclassed by everyone.
Yeah, I think it's just not enough.
Yeah,
Suboptimal flip can be tough to make out, and your leader isn't putting damage on the board. Late game is
yeah,
just not great.
yeah. I think Boba is kind of in the same situation as Jabba. Green's just a tough. Hunter is just straight up unplayable. He probably gets his own tier
Yeah,
for unplayable. Um,
maybe in
all
set
right,
12, but not now.
yeah, yeah. Bosky Bosk. I'm tempted to put him in S tier.
Yeah.
I think I think the Bosk blue deck is going to be very very good.
Hmm.
They didn't get a lot, but a fine addition is a very scary card to give to Bosk blue. I'll put him here just because I definitely don't think he's like this S tier, but we'll see who kind of fills this up and maybe he moves up at the end. He's the one so far that I'm like he might move up.
Sure.
All right, Kylo Ben. He's definitely not. Do not play this. He is actually quite good. I think he's a gimmicky guy.
Yeah, I think he's a bit gimmicky. You know that they're trying to discard their hand. It's it's geared to be aggressive. I think the addition of Brain Invaders makes it interesting that you could maybe
Yeah,
see some different play lines, but again, 4 HP on that
and we've
leader,
seen
pretty
yeah
tough.
we've seen also like a couple different colors of Kylo float around these tournaments, so
Hmm.
that it's not like he's just locked into one thing too. Um, yeah, I definitely feel like he's probably above these leagues too. So I
Yeah.
think Kylo belongs there. Bo-Katan. I don't think Bo-Katan is super super awful. Um,
I'd
I
I'd probably put it in if I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking suboptimal.
yeah
I think it does Red Hero in its own way well enough. I think I've had some interesting matchups with like a double red bow or a bow blue, and it's kind of playing a bit of that Mandalorian equip, and
yeah
there's some aggression to it. But again, if you're trying to play that aggro style, there's an S tier leader out there right
correct
now that kind of
yeah
makes it happen.
she just does a different version of it. I think that's a good way to think about it. Young Han. I think uh I think both Hans are making it into the S tier for me.
Yeah, I think that Young Han Blue is going to be pretty dangerous. There's a lot of great blue hero that's out there with this set. We'll talk about another leader that looks really great with that. A couple other leaders that are red blue hero
Yeah,
that are going to be great,
right.
but I think just that easy cheat out is going to be pretty impactful.
Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't kind of on him right now just because the hype is set 3-2, but I think we might see a resurgence of those Han 2 players in a little bit here. Atticus Bane. I think Bane's pretty good. I think Red Bane is actually
Yeah, I think he's between. I think he might be A. I don't
I
think
think
he.
he is a. I want to say that there's someone we're going to talk about later who just like plays the same deck and does something better, but it's a little different. It's not like as straight up the same deck. Um, and yeah, again, one of those guys that kind of came out at the end. So yeah, I think Cad is still kind of up there.
Hmm.
Got some good stuff. Dr. Afra, lady, what are you doing?
Yeah, someone might get mad at us for that one, but I don't see the vision.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all these guys kind of the no representation in tournament play, like doing nothing. They can all
Yeah,
kind of
I mean it's
go
either too slow or too weak of effects or impacts.
yeah, right. Um, Lando, I think is not D. He's probably here. I
Yeah,
do think that Lando red kind of aggro deck is relevant enough. But again, it's kind of like Bo-Katan. You're playing red yellow hero. Why not just play speed? He does things a little bit differently, but I definitely think he's kind of better than this shell of leaders down here.
oh yeah, certainly.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're going into our set three list here. Nala Say. So I was hype on her, and I gotta say, I am kind of feeling the non-hype on her right now. Like I don't
Yeah,
think in any, if any, very small representation at SCG Con, I would fill her in as gimmicky right now with the clone stuff.
yeah, I think what most people are thinking about this leader is blue green villainy, but you get to add some pretty cool clones.
Right.
And it just, I think in the deck crafting, trying to make that work on top of playing blue green villainy, you might actually kind of struggle to build something that makes sense. So,
Yeah, because you just don't have a leader, like a 1/7 that heals clones. But if you're only adding 6 clones to the deck, like you don't really have a leader. So yeah, something's gonna pop up and she'll be good. But I just think right now it's kind of real in this weird space for her.
yeah.
All right, Newt Gunray. I would probably put him down
Yep.
here. Yeah. All right, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I think he's pretty good. I think
Hmm.
a leader flip, and I think he's one of those, like you said, this is one of our blue red hero leaders that you can play. One of the many. And they all just kind of play something different. This is the play sentinels and heal them deck. So
Yeah. I mean, Resource 6 is a big turn. Being able to get a Sentinel out 4/7. If you're in blue already, you could drop the unit Obi-Wan and basically shut down the ground arena.
yeah, for sure. And speaking of blue hero, that's really good. I think Yoda's really good too.
Yeah.
He's definitely going in A as well for the
Yeah.
same exact reasons. Just
Absolutely. Leans more a
play
little
a
bit into the control sphere, but
yeah,
I think it feels great.
yeah, a little bit more control sphere to get you that late game, but then probably a bigger swing in the late game than
Oh yeah.
honestly any of the blue hero leaders, um, specifically the blue ones. But yeah, I think Yoda up there as well. Dooku, unfortunately, I think is kind of gimmicky. It's
Oh.
definitely this deck that is like broadcasting what you want to do, and it's pretty interruptible. I was hype on him for a while, but after just at least one locals with them, I am kind of like, I don't know. There's maybe this deck has to be like broken up somehow, and someone's got to figure out what how to make it work. But for now, that's kind of where I'd put him.
Okay.
A Wat Tambor.
No.
Unfortunately, we all want Watt to be supreme, but he's down here.
Not today.
Not today. All right. Captain Rex. Uh, I actually think Rex is very good. I think his leader ability sucks, but I think his leader unit is very good. His flip turn is very good. He provides a lot of value in the buff, and then just about the stats that he puts onto the board.
Yeah, if you don't deal with clones and then he comes out, it can become out of reach very fast. And then
Yeah,
he's putting down a lot of units probably
yeah,
earlier in the game, and then you're just playing catch up and it just hurts.
yeah,
But I
yeah,
like
for
it.
sure. Yeah, I think if we didn't have like Sabine around, Rex might be kind of like in that realm of really good aggro. Padme Amidala,
Yeah,
unplayed.
yep.
Don't play it.
Leader
Play
ability. Yeah.
any of these ones. Like anything above her, play it other than
Just
her.
gosh, please.
Maul, I think Maul is very good. We kind of talked about him a little bit when we were talking about Vader, but yeah, just coming out turn earlier, 6/6 overwhelm gives everything overwhelm. Classic, just red green villain deck.
He just yeah, it pairs with the ECL green type deck super well. I think it's
Yeah,
gonna. There might be some other concoctions out there, but I think a leader that gives overwhelm and has overwhelm is insane.
yeah, seems good. Pre Vizsla
Yep.
down here. You're never gonna have that many cards in your hand. Ashoka.
I think Ahsoka's good.
So yeah, I do think Ahsoka's good. I think she is probably I hesitantly wanted to put her in gimmicky just because this ag- again she's one of these leaders where you're kind of broadcasting what you're doing. So for certain decks, I think it'd be real easy to kind of just turn her off, and then she's not as strong. But still good. Again, you're playing an aggro deck in a really strong way, in kind of a different way. So um, yeah, we'll have to see if she kind of outshines those other aggro decks going on right now. But I think she could. I think she could go the distance.
Okay.
All right, Anakin.
I'm really tempted to
Where
put him up
does
at S. I'm
I am
super
also
tempted.
tempted. I am tempted to put him in S. I'm looking at A and I'm like, I don't know if I'd say he's on par with those cards. I think he's a little bit better than those cards.
Yeah, he might be
And
the
so
I don't know top of A if anything, but um yeah, I
this
think
is it's not even in any particular order.
yeah, but just the arguably one of the best leader abilities in the game to be able to to punch up constantly and kind of keep a sense of like almost early board control to take out those units paired super well with blue with those larger HP lower cost units to just make it work and then
Yeah,
feeding into a leader flip that's just a
probably the
massive.
scariest leader flip. Like that's what I'm on Anakin. I'm like, this is the scariest leader flip turn in the game.
Well, and I
Like
think
the
yeah,
potential power he could have.
well, I think people recognize that because when I've played against it, I'm so focused almost on just controlling creatures until Anakin comes out. And even then, Anakin is coming out as a 4/7, which is not a simple fix.
Right.
So you're either way behind on damage to base or you've got an absolute monster.
Yeah, for sure. Mace Windu. I'm sorry, Mace. Don't play Mace
Yeah.
Windu. Asajj Ventress. Haven't seen a lot of hubbub about her yet, but I do not think she's bad in any means. Although I would almost say she's like this B tier of again, your leader dies to an open fire
Yeah.
like Kylo. I think that's real bad. And eh, yellow villain, there's a lot of good yellow villain, so it's real tough to kind of say how strong she'll be, but who knows? Maybe she'll come out here, do some crazy stuff, she'll move up in the list.
Yeah, that's one I would see potentially move up, just
Yeah,
because yeah, it can. You could set up for some pretty big um leader strikes there.
yeah. All right, Grievous. Um, I wish I could put Grievous in suboptimal because I think Green Grievous is really fun,
Hmm.
but I just don't think it's there.
Ooh, yeah.
Think
I don't know. I think it's tough. I think it's a tough ability. I don't know if you're
it's
getting
tough,
there.
especially his leader side. Like you have to his leader side pretty really good stats for a leader on 6, but you have to attack to give something sentinel. I think that's the like tough part about it, where normally you're wanting to like flip your leader last on your turn. So it just plays into it super weird.
Yeah, that kind of can throw off the whole sequencing.
Yeah. All right. The most obvious S tier yet of this meta, and that's Django Fett.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's proven himself. He's pretty crazy right now. Fire spray gets to stay
First,
in the game.
yeah, yeah. Congrats, Fire Spray enjoyers.
Exactly.
All right, Palpatine.
The king.
Um,
It's like the king of gimmicks almost, but it's
yeah,
worse than gimmicks.
yeah. I was almost even just gonna put him in C tier because like I know a lot of people were hype about him. I think, but yeah, he is like the actual gimmick, the most gimmicky deck ever. But it's like not even. I think all these guys are better than Pal.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's what are you know what combination of heroism and villainy cards are worth not having a leader flip, like a
Right?
leader flipping into a unit. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what that is, and I don't see it,
yeah,
so I've got to like
yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, who knows? Someone break it so that we can put him higher.
Yeah.
He probably deserves to be higher. Someone make him
Yep.
good. All right, and then we lastly got my boy QV. You know, he's definitely real good. He's definitely A or S.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's S tier. I would like to put him there just like out of pride because he's awesome. But
Yeah. I feel like he's a. Yeah, this is good. I think
yeah,
it's.
he's just a little bit. If there was an A plus tier, that's where QV would go. But because he's definitely like better than a lot of people in this tier. But some of them, I'd say he's pretty close in similarity to like how viable the deck is.
But when you stack him, I don't know. When I stack him against what's an S tier right now, I think he's having a harder time.
Yeah, for sure,
So
for sure. Yeah, I think that S is kind of you got to be doing some crazy stuff to get in there. I think if Boba existed still, Quinlan Voss would be S tier. He was almost like this Boba killer, and now
yeah,
that Boba's gone, he's like, oh, what do I kill now? Like,
he's
someone's got to figure out what I can do.
the job's already done.
Right, right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I think this. I don't know. There's a couple cards we talked about that could change our minds, but I pretty solid. I think in terms of where cards are kind of sitting.
Yeah, I like this actually. That I think Bosk was the one that we were like, is he yes? And I think he does fit into A. After looking at this and after looking
Hmm.
at the S tier, I think Bosk does fit into A um, for sure. I do think if we were going to kind of like arrange it a little more, I think maybe QV and Bosk could be sitting like at the front of A. That'd be the
Yeah.
only like order of operations thing that I'd change. But
Hmm.
other than that, yeah, I think it's solid. I like this. This seems good to me. Yeah, no, this is what I think.
Yeah. I think the only things that I would consider potentially moving up in the future are, yeah, I mean, potentially Boss, Quinlan. I'd probably put Krennic in that category too if we see a lot of this, like, mid-game conversation like keep
Yeah.
happening. Like if people are still kind of extremely worried about Sabine, I'm not super like, yes, it's a great deck, but I don't walk into a Sabine match as terrified as I was walking into like what Boba was. So,
Right.
you know, but if a lot of people are still compensating these with these more mid-rangey decks, then yeah, I would put probably Krennic up there because that's, I think, going to be one of the best answers for that.
Yeah, I agree. If Krennic can find a way to just like get real scary on his flip turn, um, he definitely can. I think go the distance in terms of this mid range like aggro world. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Put a dark saber
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. All right, guys, this is our tier list for our early meta set 3 deep dive. If you disagree or would make any changes, let us know in the comments below. I think this makes a lot of sense as far as, hey, what should you be preparing for? Sleeving up decks, walking into a tournament. Feel free to subscribe, like the video, commenting any suggestions you have, questions, concerns. Otherwise, Clone Force 23, peace out.
Peace.
Grand Army of the Republic when deployed. Galactic warfare you cannot avoid. Go ahead, be a battle droid. Face off against my clone troopers and get destroyed. Space tech, spaceports, TCG, card sports, of course, till my voice goes hoarse. Welcome, wrecking, decking with the strategy, the energy. It's Clone Force 23.